Hi folks, Jonkits here, playing Sailaway the Sailing Simulator. And as you can tell, my voice is screwed up. Who cares? So, uh, where are we? Okay, I recorded a couple things yesterday. They were terrible, so I didn't process them and upload them. Mainly because I had to deal with irons. We played around here a little bit and made some adjustments. Not much to tell. Then I tried to do some racing, and the race course that they laid out started by putting us directly in irons, and it was just a fiasco and a waste of time. So, and I mean directly in irons. Like when we crossed the start line, we were in irons. And so here we are again today, and today something entirely different has happened here in the Bering Sea, or Bering Strait, wherever the heck we are. And that is the wind is from the complete opposite direction. So where we had to tack back and forth into the wind, we have now the wind is directly behind us. And it's almost dead. It's only 1.4 knots, but at least it's behind us. Uh, so hopefully we will raise the gennaker and pick up a little bit of speed and go from there. So let us begin by looking at where we are. I have um, erased some of the steps here in my course so that we're not um, tacking back and forth. And instead what we're going to do is just turn up into this area here, and I will adjust this in a minute or two so that we're dead on course. We should probably start going south of the course because this takes us right across the land here, which generally speaking is not a good idea. And other than that, we'll make some adjustments and then see if we can pick up some speed. So let's look at the heel here. We don't need any heel at all. So we'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that. So as you can see, the boat is almost imperceptibly turning over. This is a keel of sorts, which will go back and forth. These are a little ballast, I'm assuming. I guess there's not any real evidence of what is going on, but there are ballast. Let me hit Z here. We'll take a distance look here. Now there's no evidence that there are ballast here. Or maybe there is, I just don't know it, but that looks like it probably would have some space for a ballast. So when we're tilting heavily on one side, it would fill with water and the ballast would turn over to one side. While we're at it, we'll note that our badges are being dutifully tacked on to the side of our little boat here. And it's called My Boat because I haven't changed the name. Might do that before the end of this session. So let's hit Z again, get us back on board. And let's begin by, let's see, we go to our map and see nothing here. So let's go to trim. The mainsail's too flat, so we ease the out haul. The telltales are still pretty straight, but let's just do it one step at a time. Let's do what they say. I hit the Q and E, and there we go. Traveler's way down below. So the out haul is right here. Do you want to ease that? It's too flat, they say. Oops, sorry, the wrong one. Cunningham, mean out haul. I don't see any effect on the sail whatsoever. The out haul is this little thing over here at the corner. But it made some adjustments, so we're not complaining. So then, of course, we're going to go to the jib, which they want us to furl that and raise the gennaker, which is pretty much what I thought would happen. So let's go ahead a bit. The furl is right there. I don't know what's clicking all of a sudden, but there you go. So actually, I'm going to try clicking right on The furl. Okay, what it wants us to do is furl it to 0%, but what they calculate is the furling or the unfurling. Let's see if I can get back here. It's furled at 0% now, but what they talk about really is an unfurl. So by moving it upward, we are actually furling it. Okay, and now we want, I don't know what's clicking back and forth, but we'll see in a second or two maybe. We want the gennaker. Gennaker halyard, I wonder if that's visible. Who knows? Let's go. Gennaker halyard. Very slow in the scroll routine here. That's not my recording system, by the way. That's something on the boat is clicking back and forth. Okay, up comes the gennaker, and up comes our speed. So this is the gennaker there. So we're 100%. And I imagine our gennaker is too loose. So that's our gennaker. Nice blue one we got this time. That's the gennaker halyard. We want the gennaker sheet. Gennaker sheet. Well, it says it's too loose, so we're going to tighten it. And there we go. Now we're going at 1 knot. Isn't life exciting? Okay, and our main sheet, we're going to tighten that a bit if we can find it again. Main halyard, reef Cunningham out haul. Halyard. Oops, main sheet. And now that's up. 1.2 knots we are headed. Not particularly an exciting little race we got going here, or challenge. And I wish I knew what was clicking and going on, but I guess it's the sails flapping or something. This doesn't look right. The mainsail is not curved the way it wants to be curved. What would happen, I wonder, if... let's see, if I try going back there, I'm going to be looking in the wrong direction. But if I adjusted the traveler so that it swung further out, so I want the traveler to go in that direction. How far back are we? The traveler, so I want it to go in that direction more. And then maybe if I alter my bearings a little bit, I might get a wing effect thing going on. Let's try with the traveler first. Ah, there it is, the traveler. So we want the traveler to come way out there, and then we'll tighten the sheet in a second. Okay. And so we've tightened the sheet, and now they want us to mess around with the out-haul. Try to ease the out-haul. Well, it's not going to be easy because it's already down to 0. So, let's see if we can get further back. We can take a look here. And these telltales, they're a little bit finicky, but they're okay. Something else is going back and forth. They want us to play with the Cunningham or tighten the main sheet or mess with the out-haul or the traveler. So let's see. Gennaker main sheet, traveler main sheet. So they say that's too loose, so let's tighten that up a little bit. Because we moved the traveler to our left as we look forward. What is that? Starboard? And they want us to ease the Cunningham a little bit. Ease the Cunningham. We can't ease the out-haul because we're already at 0%. So, mainsail, the gennaker sheet is too loose. That's this one here. Sheet being this one. So, let's take a look at the gennaker halyard. Gennaker sheet is too loose. So we're tightening that sheet. And away we go. Perfect alignment there. Okay, and we are at 1.2 2 maybe knots, and the true wind speed is at 1.3. So now let's look at the map again. We want actually to swing around, so what I'm going to do is pull that, and I'm going to swing around using my rudder so that we are more in line with what we want. And there we have, I was going to say, and there we have our wing effect. But that's because the mainsail keeps swinging back and forth. And because we're crossing the, well, not irons, opposite irons, it's jibe. So now we're lined up with that, and we want to line our course up here so that I don't want it to be above 5. I do want to get back on course a little more quickly. Let's move that one down and put the second one in the middle here. Okay, so now we're going to swing around that in that direction, generally speaking. We're not going to be moving. Oh, look, true wind speeds increase. Now, we've played around here, so we're probably going to have to make some adjustments to the trim, and the gennaker is too tight. Gennaker halyard. Gennaker sheet is too tight. Should probably go up and have a closer look at it. So that's our gennaker sheet. Okay, it's letting it out so it'll pick up more wind as it goes, which is a good thing, I think. There we go. So now we're wide open in our gennaker. Let's see what the mainsail has to say. The mainsail is too tight, so we want it to loosen up a bit. So that's the main sheet. We want it to pick up some more wind. You can see it's swinging around there. And it is pretty much dead on, except these are off here. But our speed, we're back up to 1 knot, and the true speed has dropped down to 1.3 knots. So our parent speed, which is over here, which is 0.5. That would be like if you turned your back on a windy day, if you turned your back on the wind and ran along at the same speed as the wind, you wouldn't feel a darn thing. So, this is our map. The main sheet's too loose. Okay. It's too loose, so we want to tighten it, don't we? We'll tighten it a little bit. That's because this wind keeps going up and down. It's really hard to make any adjustment at all. And the gennaker sheet is too loose. Gennaker sheet is too loose. Tighten that a little bit. A lot by the sounds of things. What has changed? Has the wind changed direction? Yeah, not a whole lot. Anyway, we're headed towards that waypoint there, and should cross that in about 2 minutes. And where we're going, 1.1 knots, not a particularly fast pace we're heading here, but we're on course. So, what do we got to do here? I can try to figure out what the heck is clicking here, but I'm probably not going to find out. So that's our gennaker, and we can't really move around a whole lot. So let's go up to the bow and look straight up. Oh, it swung over to the other side, did it? Or what did it do? It swung over to the other side, so I got a wing effect here. Trying to looking at the course of the wind, direction of the wind. The true wind direction, as it's called. It's pretty much behind us, so yeah, we could be picking up. See, the wind's coming in from the starboard side, So if we turned around, starboard side would be over here. So the wind's coming in from that side, which would force the gennaker over that way. And it's also forcing the sail over that way, but I'd rather have it going the other way. So why don't we go back here? Try maybe, we already have the traveler far over. Where is the traveler? I didn't adjust the traveler, I pulled it way over here, didn't I? I'd rather see the traveler over on that side, and then I'd get a more of a wing effect here. Because I would pull the mainsail over. Did I do that backwards? I don't know. Traveler is what we're looking for. We're pulling the traveler way over. Didn't help a whole lot. Let's see what it says here. The mainsail. Well, according to that, the mainsail is just fine. Gennaker is just fine. It kind of varies up and down. Wind changes. Alright, so we're not getting our much wanted wing effect. And the wind, I think, is actually pulled off a little bit. So it's even more from the starboard side. Okay. So we're heading into that at 1 knot. And we're actually, oh, it's going to take us an hour to get there. We are going slowly. Distance to the waypoint is 1.9. We assume it means nautical miles, but it might mean just miles. Anyway, it's going to take us 2 hours before we get there, so that's not going to help us not. All right, so what else are we going to do? Well, we're going to straighten out this mess here and try to get a little bit off course so we don't run into land or run over some shallow ground, but as you can see, we're still approximately 200 meters down, so I think we're safe as far as that goes. So let's pull that over. The reason I can do that is because I have over here this being unlocked, so I can move that as I wish. So let's close that up a bit and keep dragging these over, and I keep them under 5 because I found by experimentation that as soon as you pass 5 nautical miles, the boat will tend to get lost, and depending on which direction it happens to be going, it will run aground or sail on out to sea. So let's try. Hopefully the wind, by the time we get here, the wind won't be in too bad a shape, and we'll be able to sail away from the land. I am going to pull this one out, so we're going to end up somewhere around there. I'm looking at the depth as I scroll around here with the most. You see it's 100, but there's nothing that's going to bring us down below, say, 1/10 of a nautical mile. So once we pass through here, well, then we're going to have to not pass through here. Now we're getting down to 2012. Scrolling here and see 54. Okay, we're okay there. 38, 26. And we're going to try to get off the edge of here. And eventually we're going to cross that line. So, how are we doing here in terms of whereabouts we are? It's way back here. If the wind doesn't pick up, then we've got enough in terms of waypoints. But if the wind picks up, we might be far ahead of ourselves here. 4.3, 4.7 is fine. Once again, I'm trying to avoid being above 5. And when it's a little cloud-looking thing like it is right now, if you click on it, it disappears. Ta-da! It's gone. So we try to keep little round circles going. It is Friday afternoon here, by the way, and so the people who are working on the side of the building have gone home early. How nice of them. Of course, it is getting a little bit windy. So maybe for the change, it's getting windy in this area, and it's not actually a quiet little spot it usually is. So I am trying to make a course that is below 5 nautical miles, but at the same time is a little bit off the coastline, so that I don't end up having to worry about depth. So I think we've covered enough about this. Wow, how come that one's way off? Must have put one in here and it disappeared. 4.5, so now it's 5.7. Let's pull that back to 4.6. Okay, now, unless the wind really picks up, I think we've got enough to sail while we're offline. So I've got offline, I've got it set so that it follows the course, right? Navigate to sail laid out on the laid out track. So it's going to travel when I'm offline, it's going to try to follow. As soon as it pops back in, right now it's doing some calculating and some more calculating. There we are. Okay, so yeah, we should get ourselves back online and we should be able to scroll through and reach that. Now let's just, before we exit, let's just make sure we're in roughly good shape. So it's too tight for the mainsail at the moment. Too tight. So we just let that off a bit. One thing I am going to try, and I'm running out of time here, but one thing I am going to try, just to show y'all what's going on, I'm going to click on this thing right here. And it's going to ease my Cunningham. And it's going to ease the Traveler. So all that work I did with the Traveler went to the opposite side. And it's easing the backstay. Wow, all the way to 0? Now it's playing with the Traveler again, and it's pulling it over to the opposite direction. And it's going to mess with the gennaker. But that's about it. So it's finished what it's done, but it, down here, it says the Traveler is too far over. So now it wants me to pull it. Once again, that's the Traveler down there. These ones that are being highlighted out of sheets. And it seems to be okay now, except that it's got this line here, which I do not like. But this one's pretty darn close to what it should be. The mainsail is pulling around the top of the mainsail. It's not what it should be, but it doesn't really tell us anything else. So, at 1.4 knots, we are going at 1 knot, and it says the main sheet is too tight. Let's click on this thing up here again, see what it does. Wow, really lowering the gennaker. And now it's messing with the Traveler again. Excuse me. And easing the main sheet a bit. Still at the top here, I don't understand what that is about. Gennaker's fine, the mainsail is relatively fine, just in the lower side of things. We look at the telltales, they're all stretched out there, kind of nice, top and bottom. So 1.1 knots in a 1.5 knot wind and heavy fog. She's locked in fog bay, as we say in Newfoundland. Okay, yeah. So, lots of things I could say at this point, but I won't. So, please do hit the thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button. That would be a great help. And that's all I'm going to say for now. Maybe we'll do it all again next time. So, until next time, please do take care.